welcome everybody to Prime Time for Women's Mindful Monday. I'm really excited today to be welcoming Barb Martin. She's the owner of Women in Transition. It's a life coaching company that she's had for 5 years. She's really focused on mindfulness and helping women discover their authentic selves through two specific strategies that she's going to talk about. Barb, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Bernadette, for having me today. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about my business and also to talk with women in different ways that I reach out and help women, especially through the Wheel of Life and Action boards. It really helps them get with the ebb and flow of their lives and their authentic self.
So before we get into that, though, which is really exciting, I hope you would tell us a little bit about your training and how and why you came to this point in your life. Because, you know, Prime Time for Women is all about how we continue to shape and move our lives forward. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
And exactly what you hope to help other women do. But you also took that journey and continue to take that journey every day. So
Correct.
tell us a little bit about your training, in particular this area.
So in regards to that, I homeschooled my 4 boys for a really long time, and I always thought that I would know what I wanted to do, because isn't that funny? You raise your kids and you think, oh, you got to know what you got to do. You want to do. You have to have your path laid out in front of you. And I thought that I knew what I wanted to do, but it wasn't a traditional path. I mean, how many people say, oh, I think I want to be a life coach? I think because that's really what struck me all throughout the time that I raised my children. I was a La Leche League leader, connecting with women, homeschooling. I hosted conferences to help parents and women through their day. And I think it was just a natural progression. But then looking through all the life coaching sessions and all the different things, you know, there's from Tony Robbins, so many to choose from. So I did a lot of research, read a lot of books, and Martha Beck just struck a chord with me. So I read all of her books, which is a requirement of her course, and then eventually went ahead and signed up for the course. It was a 14-month program where you have to do practicals. You have to actually coach with people while you're doing that. And it just fell into place for me because it's things I've been doing for years.
Yeah,
with,
I do think that you are not only a lifelong teacher, but you are a lifelong learner, right? That describes you.
My favorite thing, like one of the first things that I recommend for people to do is to read as much as they can and to read a variety of books. So yes, a lifelong learner always.
So, Barb, one of the things that I was really excited about is that you're going to talk a little bit about the life wheel and also these action boards, but also about a workshop that women who hear this today can experience with your assistance. So maybe you could start us off with talking about the life wheel, and maybe how does that translate into women really finding their own passions and pursuing those interests?
Well, I think one of the things that the Wheel of Life does for you is helps you focus. You know, all our lives we're told what's correct for us to do, or all of our lives we're told what we can do, what we can't do, what women are expected to do. And so after a while, you don't hear your own voice inside of you. And I think that the Wheel of Life helps you do that. I'm going to go ahead and just put it up to the camera. You can see this is the wheel right there that we start with. And it has 8 different categories. And so what I do is I ask you to be really mindful to fill that out. We do a little bit of meditation over each of them. It's like your physical environment, your career, family and friends, your personal growth and money. And we just go through the 8 things. And you do them on a scale of 1 to 10. And then wherever you have a bumpy path, like I'll show you mine. It's not really something to brag about. But you see, I have a little bit of a bumpy path. So when it comes to...
Wait a minute, let me interrupt you a minute.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
It's not really, there's nothing in these wheels of life that are good or bad, right? It's just who we are.
Just experiences. Yeah.
And we're all so different, so everybody's wheel is going to look a little different.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody's wheel is going to look different. I mean, nobody's wheel is going to look just like mine. I use different colors because they bring different feelings up for me. Romance and my significant other. Doesn't mean my relationship is perfect, but it does mean that it's at a good place for me where I'm able to talk with my husband, and I can express my emotions. But in regards to, let's say my health, I do want to walk a little bit more. So that one's a little bit low. So if I were to do my own will and I were a client, I would say, hey, let's focus on your health, your physical environment, and maybe a little bit of money. And so those would be the three areas that we would do an action board on. But like you said, Bernadette, it doesn't mean there's anything the matter with those areas. It just means I want to see a little bit more progression in those areas, concentrate on them a little bit more, because everybody's perfect just exactly how they are right now.
Right, right. And I guess too, the thing about the like wheel of life is that sometimes when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna improve myself," they don't have a clear, identified, targeted goal,
Right.
right? And this
Correct.
is like a step before you create goals, right?
Correct. Yes, it is.
So go ahead,
Absolutely.
take it away.
Yes. So like whenever you think, oh, it's money, 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 but really it isn't, because it's that, when you think about your finances, what do you want from your finances? You want them to make you feel safe, secure. Well, money doesn't do that. You know that. You can have a ton of money and not feel safe and secure. So that's why the wheel of life helps you really focus in on what it is that you really hear yourself saying. And so from the wheel of life, then we take those three areas out of the eight, and then we make an action board. And you can see I even color code my board to reflect the areas that I want to work on. But then even within that, you pick three goals where you want to work on those. So it's not overwhelming to think of, well, I want to fix my money situation. You go down to the basics, like what can I do every day to make my money situation better for me?
Hmm. Hmm. And maybe depending on the person, it might not be that I need more money to, or I need to spend less money. It might be just to be not so fearful of financial picture, or
Correct.
it could be lots of different things. And what I liked about the way that you've crafted this is this idea that there is not a right and wrong, and
Right.
but for each person, regardless of where they start, there's an opportunity for growth, right?
For growth. Correct. And I'm just going to share a real brief story about money. One of the things that I always struggled with was when we were younger. I'm seven of eight kids, the seventh. When we would go to the grocery store, my mother always worried about paying for the groceries. And as a little kid, that's something that sticks with you. So I would go to the grocery store, and whenever I was older, and I'd have so much like anxiety around that, I said, where is this coming from? I have more than enough money to pay for groceries. But it's something that I've carried with me. I respect and honor my parents, and I get where their struggles were, but that's not my struggle. So I had to set that aside. And so that was something that I worked on. So it wasn't necessarily getting more money, but was letting go of a story that I had about money.
Yeah, so much of what Prime Time for Women talks about is, women need to be seen and heard. Uh, but the other thing that keeps coming up is that we are who we tell ourselves we are. Those stories that
Yes.
we play in our mind, and
Right.
sometimes those stories are really great stories, and they're not true. And sometimes they're really horrific stories that we say, "Oh, you're not worthy, you're not good," and
Right.
that's not true either, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
So maybe real quickly, could you just give us an example of maybe some exercises that, as you work with clients, how do you, or maybe talk about yourself, how did you come to let go of that particular story that no longer served you?
Right. So let's talk about that, because of course you are not your thoughts. There's so many things that color and shade your thoughts. I guess two of the things that I've come to realize is that you make friends with who you are right now, and that's what you have to live with, and that's what you move forward with. You are who you are, and it's a wonderful thing, because all of the things that you've learned make you the wonderful person that you are, and you just keep moving forward in consciousness.
Hmm.
But how I let go of the money story is that every time I would go to the register, I would talk to the little girl that I was when I was in the line with my mom and say, "Aren't we glad we learned so much from our parents about saving money and having enough money and being responsible, that I'm the worthy person that I am today, able to go grocery shopping mindfully and purchase what I need for myself and my family."
Yeah.
So it just changed the story a little bit.
So we have a couple guests here with us today. I didn't know if you'd be willing to take some questions from
Oh
them.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so before we do that, I was just going to ask real quickly if you could talk about the workshop that you so
Oh yes,
generously
yeah.
are
Sorry, I
offering.
don't think I mentioned that. So Wednesday, June 17th, you just send me an email. From 6:30 to 9:30, we'll have a Zoom meeting because of the COVID. We certainly can't get together. Hopefully later in the summer, I'll be able to offer a workshop at the library where we all can get together. But hopefully we'll do something on Zoom. Again, it's June 17th, 6:30 to 9. And we will go through the Wheel of Life.
And please provide your email address.
Sure. It's WITBARBMARTIN at Gmail. So that's Martin at gmail.com.
And WIT is Women in Transition.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for that. And are there any questions there? You can either put something in our chat box or just take yourself off mute and ask Barb directly. Okay, I think Eka has a question.
Well, I was wondering if this talk is being recorded because, okay, great. Because the reason I went off was my sister is very interested and I was trying to find the link and send it to her. But if it's recorded, then I'll be able to share it.
Yeah, so we're doing something new today. I do usually record these and then post a link, but for the first, well, actually, this is the second time I've been able to do this. It's because I'm social distancing with my high-tech daughter. We are Zooming and Facebook Living at the same time. So this is also going to Facebook, and it will be on Primetime for Women's website.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, we'll put it on the website, but right now it is also on Primetime for Women's Facebook page.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
And please share it with anybody that you think would benefit from it.
I will. I'll share it on my page.
Sure. Any other questions? Well, Barb, I don't, oh, wait, it looks like Marcia has a question.
No, I was just going to say thank you. And when I read you promoting this, Bernadette, Martha Beck is like my favorite human being on earth. I've read most of her books. She just resonates with me so much. I love her, and this is just great. So just thanks.
Marcia, do you have one thing in particular that really resonates with you and when you read Marcia Beck?
Martha Beck. I wish it was Marcia, my namesake, but it is Martha. You know, she just really zooms in, no pun intended, zooms in on authenticity, like you really being comfortable with who you are, warts and all, embracing that, loving that. She just has such a strong love your authentic self message. I mean, she just immediately hits that with you. She has a real powerful persona. I'm sure your guest would agree.
And I was just thinking maybe the Prime Time for Women book club might want to read one of her books as part of a discussion one month.
And yeah, I think yes, that's a fabulous idea. Yes.
Yeah, I think Alice just joined us. Thanks for joining, Alice.
You're welcome. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Sure, we can.
Definitely. Okay. I think something's wrong with my camera. I've never been able to get it to work, but.
Okay. Well, Marcia, Alice, if you go down to the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, there's a little video icon.
Yeah, I just clicked that. We'll see if it happens. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Okay, and if you missed some of this presentation, it will be on Facebook Live, and we'll also upload it onto the Primetime for Women website. Barb, I just wanted to say, I know that you work full-time at PIA, you serve on the Washington County Women's Commission, you chair the Washington County Women's Commission Expo. You're somebody who not only does life coaching as a business, but you are there supporting women in our community all the time. And I'm just so grateful for your efforts in serving the female community and Washington County community in general. And thank you for your time today.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much, Bernadette.
Okay, and we'll see you June 17th.
Thank you.
Right. Great.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thanks, Eka.
Awesome.
And we'll post
Barbara,
that on our website.
let me just put in a little plug for Barbara. I've done coaching with her for a long time and she is awesome.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Kudos right there. Okay, thanks everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.